hold your clock, fare thee well, I'm gone. Fare thee well, hold your clock, it's time you're moving on. Your clock, it's time you're moving on. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Schuler Auditorium. Before we begin, we ask that you please silence your cell phones or pagers at this time. We'd also like to remind you there is no flash photography or videotaping during the performance. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome you to the 37th Annual Popcorn Forum and Convocation Series, and this year it is titled Celebrating Humor and Music, Conversations with Comedians and Musicians from the Past. All week we will have great scholars here who will be performing, and you will learn so much from the past and some people who used humor and both music to give us very important and powerful messages. Before introducing two individuals to give you brief welcomes, I want to personally thank the staff at Boswell Hall and Schuler Auditorium. Without them, we could not do what we do. We have Justin Van Eaton, who is the head of the staff, and he has a wonderful group supporting him, along with John Gergos, who just made the announcement, and John was here with us last night until after 10 o'clock. They are wonderful people, and we thank them very, very much. To kick off the Popcorn Forum, as we traditionally do, we have two people always, and first I would introduce to you the president of the Associated Students of North Idaho College that have been part of the funding for 37 years, and he will welcome everyone, Ryan Robertson.
Well, thank you, Tony. Good morning, and on behalf of the Associated Students, welcome to the kickoff for the Popcorn Forum. This event is unique to students because while most of our education is obtained in the classroom with our wonderful instructors, for 1 week during the Popcorn Forum, we have the opportunity to meet the real-life historic peoples of the past with whom we are honored to have on campus. So on behalf of the Associated Students, thank you, the audience, for attending, and thank you, Tony Stewart, and all those involved in creating this wonderful event, and please enjoy the week.
And our second welcome is tradition also from the President's office, and our President has to be in Seattle this morning, and we're very pleased to have representing the President's office the Vice President of Instruction at North Idaho College, Dr. Barbara Hanson.
Good morning and welcome to the 37th Annual Popcorn Forum. It's exciting to be here. This will be my first Popcorn Forum, and hopefully I will get to enjoy many more. It's an exciting time for everyone. I would like to welcome you, as Professor Stewart noted, on behalf of North Idaho College and the Office of the President. In reviewing the program for this week, I was very, very excited to find that this was a platform for free expression and for the expression of divergent viewpoints. It's a time to dream and to go into the past. And with that in mind, I decided I was going to share a brief poem with you this morning. And it's from a Native American poet named Artson Hernandez. It goes like this. What is it you wish of today? What pleases you? What thrills your heart? What makes you dream? Decompression of the body and mind, the casual moments leading to memorable dreams of wishing, searching for that encounter of a mystical adventure to enlighten our souls. I have an idea I wish for you to join. The pleasure you seek may and can reach to you from the sun, teaching you what you want. Give me a hint or a word. I will expand upon your thoughts, the opportunity of a question and interesting response, the treasure of a voice within the dreams of my mind. Send me into a world of beauty that reaches me from afar, such as the image of one who listens and learns. I hope you enjoy your dream as you participate in the Popcorn Forum and listen and learn. Thank you.
And now enjoy today's program, and John will announce our program. Thank you so much.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Ike and Tina's special guest star, the funniest lady, Miss Moms Mabley. It's star time, and now, without further ado, Mercury Recordings bring you to live from Sing Sing Prison, the funniest lady in the world, Jackie Moms Mabley. And now, ladies and gentlemen, North Idaho College is proud to bring the 37th Annual Popcorn Forum, the incomparable, the one and only, Jackie Moms Mabley.
Oh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. How y'all doing this morning? Woo, it took me a long time to get here. How y'all doing this morning? How you doing over there, honey? Let me see. Oh, that's nice to hear. How you do? I see y'all can talk up in here. Let's see. Who is here this morning? How you doing, cutie? You are a cutie. Yes, you are. Well, here I am in Idaho. Idaho. Well, I don't know. I've never been to Idaho before. Anyway, they treat me real nice up in here. You know, they treat me real nice. I guess I'm so old, they don't got no choice. Woo! It took moms a long time to get out here. Y'all is way the hell out here. Took me a long time to get out here. Moms had to take, now let's see, let me see. I had to take 3 planes, 2 cars, and a donkey to get out here. Whew! But here I am. Anyway, I'm glad to be here this morning. You know, some folks didn't make it, but here I am. And you know what I'm talking about, don't you? Some folks that didn't make it. You know, moms hates to fly. You know what I'm saying? I hate to fly. You know, but that's the only way you can get out here to Idaho, I guess, is flying. You know, so I figured if the good Lord wanted me to fly, he'd have given me some wings. So I just went out and bought me some feathers just in case, you know, just in case. But anyhow, minute I got on the airplane and the plane is taking off, you know, it's going up in the sky. All of a sudden, bop, my head got all filled up and I couldn't hear a thing. You know, I couldn't hear not a damn thing. So I said to the stewardess, honey, help me. Moms can't hear nothing. The stewardess said, here, moms, here, chew up on this chewing gum. Maybe that'll help you out. So I chewed. And I chewed. And I chewed some more. That gum didn't help me none. And we're flying up high in the sky over the Great Rocky Mountains, you know. We're flying over the Great Rocky Mountains, and all of a sudden, bap! My head commenced to hurting so bad I couldn't hear nothing. I said, honey, please help moms out. So she came up to me, she said, moms, drop your jaw. Well, I misunderstood her, you know what I mean? I caught a real bad cold. Yes, I did. I'm telling you why. So, anyhow, let me see. Oh, got this water in here. I'm not going to drink it right now. Anything in this? No, okay. Well, anyway, let me sit down. Y'all sitting down, and I'm standing up here like a fool. Let me just sit on down here in this here chair. Woo! This chair cold. Woo! It's cold. Ain't you got no better chair than this? Honey, ain't you got no better chair? Ooh,
would you like a different chair?
Ooh, ain't he cute? He a cute one. How you doing up there, honey?
I'm doing okay.
Oh, that's good. You know, mom's been accused of liking them young, and all I can say is guilty as charged. I like some young, you know. You know, don't bring me nothing old, but make sure they're hip. Mom don't like no squares. Don't like no squares. Make sure they're hip and young. Can't nothing an old man do for me but show me where a young one is. You know, I'd rather pay a young man's way from here to New York than tell an old man the distance. Yes, indeed. I like some young. I like some young. And you know what? I think it might be cold up in here, but if you pat your hands together, you might get warmed up. How about you pat your hands together? Oh, that's it. Oh, thank you. Our mom, this mom's here in case y'all don't know. It's M-O-M forwards, M-O-M backwards, and upside down, whoop, fooled you, didn't I? It's wow, W-O-W. That's me, Moms Mabley. You know, my slogan is, if you can't take it, don't fake it. Let somebody else make it. Yes, indeed. That means translation be, it's not the depth of the river that drown a man, no, honey. It's the water. Yes, it is. It's the water. You got to hold on. Don't lose your head. You got to hold on to your head. Hold on. Don't never lose your head because your brain's up there. You need that. Yes, you do. You know, it's tough times. I was reading in the paper the other day where this here bank robber got mugged on his way to the getaway car. Now, you know them some tough times. Yes, there is. You know, I was walking down the street the other day. Somebody jumped out at me, say, stick 'em up. I said, stick what up? He said, hold up your hands. I said, my hands is up. He said, give me your money. I said, I can't give you no money with my hands up in the air like this. So he said, I'm going to search you. So he starts a patting and a rubbing and a patting. And I said, hey, I told you I don't have no money. But if you keep that up, I'll write you a check. Yes, I will. I tell you what, times is really getting tough, really getting hard. Times is hard. The other day I walked in the kitchen and saw a rat eating a red onion, crying like a natural baby. Ooh, times is tough. I mean, folks is dying today, ain't never died before. Times is really, really, really tough. Ooh. But old man, don't give me no old man, honey. I'll tell you what. We got one of them sweet things over here on the side. Eric, come on out here for a minute. Come on out here. Look at him. Ain't he cute? Ain't he cute? I'll see you after the show, okay? All right. And don't be going out the back door or the front door either, because I'm going to be at both doors waiting for you. Oh, yes, I am. Yeah. Well, I know he's white. I ain't got time to be looking for no color. You know, as old as I am, I got to catch as catch can. Whew. You know, if you're old and you don't have it, you can't get it. You know what I'm saying? So, ain't nothing as good as a sweet old woman with some money. Old but clean. That's what I'm saying, Eric. I'll see you after the show. Yes, sir. You know, these young folks up in here, don't be letting these old folks talk to you about the good old days. The good old days? Good old days where? I was there. Where was they? Where was they at? I ain't seen no good old days. You living in the best days ever was right now. That's what I'm telling you, honey. I'm telling you the truth. Listen to Mom. I know what I'm talking about. These is the best days ever was, ever gonna be. I mean, you could say what you want to say, go where you want to go, love who you want to love, marry who you want to marry. You know what I'm talking about? Wasn't the same back in Mom's day, I'll tell you that. You had to marry who your daddy say you had to marry. Now, ain't that a shame? The one you gonna spend the rest of your natural days with, and you gotta marry him because your daddy like him. Why don't your daddy marry him? He the one like him. I mean, I had to marry this puny, nasty, ugly, wrinkly, thin, skinny, old man. I mean, old as water, and twice as weak, too. And I wasn't but 15 going on 16 years old. But I had to marry this man. He was so thin, honey, they threw some rice, a grain of rice hit him after the wedding, and he fell right over. I had to carry him home piggyback after the wedding. You know what I'm saying? Woo, that man was old. I mean, when we got home, he said, "Where you gonna find another man like me?" I looked at him, I said, "In the cemetery." I said, "Don't say nothing to me. Just don't say nothing to me because you getting on my nerves." He said, "What's the matter?" I said, "You, for one thing." He said, "Well, wouldn't you be surprised if I got up and kissed you?" I looked at him, I said, "I'd be surprised if you got up." Woo, he was old. That man was old. I couldn't stand him. I couldn't stand that man. He was so old, Santa Claus looked like his son. That man was older than his mother. I'm telling you the truth. He was so old, when we went to his sister's funeral, the minister tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Pops, how old are you?" He said, 97. He said, "Damn, ain't no use in you going home, is it?" I tell you what, when we got married, we were standing there, the minister said, "Will you take this man?" The undertaker stood up and said, "I'll take him." That man was old. I'm telling you, he was old as dirt. And you know what? He was ugly. You hear what I'm saying? That man was ugly. Woo! He was so ugly, he hurt my feelings. I tell you what, that man was so ugly. He was so ugly that he had to tip up on a glass of water just to get a drink. He was so ugly that he had a job sitting outside the doctor's office making people sick. I tell you what, that man was ugly. And one day, he says to me, I couldn't wait for him to die, you know. Rat poisoning agreed with him. I just couldn't wait for that man to die. One day he says to me, "When I die, what you gonna write on my tombstone?" I looked at him, I said, "Here lies John, dead as usual." I tell you, you know, my granny used to say, "You shouldn't talk ill of the dead." She used to say, if you can't say something good about somebody, then don't say nothing at all. Well, he's dead. Good. That's what I say about that. Great day in the morning. You know, I love teenagers. I love teenagers. All these folks up here talking about the trouble teenagers doing. They doing this. They doing that. I love me some teenagers, and they love moms. I know it's not these poor children's fault. It's the parents that's to blame, telling these children all these lies. I used to love my granny because she always told me the truth. Granny always told me the truth, and that's the problem these days, ringing these children up, telling them lies. Mom, they say to moms, Mom, when is the right time to hip a child? Now, for those of you who don't understand jive, hip means wise. Wise up. When is the right time to wise up a child? When he's 9, 10, 11? See, now that's your problem right there. You wait too long to tell him the truth. The time to wise up a child is from the day that child is born. A child is born with a brain, not a mind. It's up to you to put something in the child's mind now. Now, instead you go on telling lie after lie after lie to the poor child. How he gonna know? It's like the first word you say to that baby, it's like a record. Soon as you put that needle down, that's when it starts to register. I mean, here you go. When the baby gets born, the first thing you want to do is put your hands up, your nasty hands up in the little baby's face, talking about, this little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. That baby don't know nothing about no damn pig. Here you teaching them about the dirtiest, nastiest, smelliest thing alive. And then when he's big enough to go to school, you say, go on, baby, go on to school, but watch out for the lights. Damn, the lights, watch out for the cars. The lights ain't never killed nobody. The child looking at the lights and the truck knock his head off. Then finally, when the baby, poor child, learn how to read, instead of getting him a book telling him about life and the way things is, you go out and get him one of them Mother Goose fairy tale books. Mother Goose, I wish I could burned up all them books. Mother Goose. I tell you what, Mother Hubbard ain't have no dog bone in her cupboard. The dog be lucky if he find a bone in the yard. Mother Hubbard had her gin up in her cupboard. That's what she got up in there, hiding it from all you cats want to drink it all up. Jack and Jill didn't go up no hill to fetch no water. That's not what they was doing up there. Everybody know water don't run uphill. Y'all know that. You know better than that. And Mary ain't had no little lamb neither. Wasn't the doctor surprised? You know, my brother is dead today because of them Mother Goose tales. They was telling him, ding dong bell, pussy's in the well. Damn fool went and jumped in the well and drowned himself. Need to tell these children the truth, raise them up right. Then they'll know something about life. You know what I'm talking about. Got to hip them when they're young. You got to wise up a child from the day he's born. That's what you got to do. Now, I tell you what, my granny always told me the truth. And she lived to be 118 years old. And that's the God's honest truth. I swear for God. 118 years old. Now, one day I walked up to her. Now, she's about 108 at this time, you know. I walked up to her. I said, Granny, when is it that a woman, you know, how old does a woman have to be before she don't want no more boyfriends? You know what I'm talking about. My granny looked at me and she said, honey, you gonna have to ask somebody older than me because I sure don't know. That was my granny, and that's how moms got to be how moms is today, because of my granny. And you know what? I tell you what. The other day, I was out there on the White House lawn. Yes, I was. Walking around with Mamie and Ike, talking to Adam Clayton Powell and all them cool cats. You know, and I looked around, I said, you know what? I could run this place. I could spruce it up and turn it into something. Y'all elect moms for president. Make me the president, and I turn this whole mess around. I'll tell you what, if Elizabeth could run the whole of England, shoot, I know Moms could run the White House. Yes, I could. What I want to know is, what did she got that I used to want, and how can I get it again? That's what I want to know. But you know, everybody is going crazy these days. Did you know that? I ain't never seen so much insanity in all my life. Everybody going crazy. I mean, if you see somebody walking down the street acting normal, they really must not be well. Man walked into the psychiatrist's office the other day talking about psychiatrist said, wait a minute, man, wait a minute. What's the matter? What's the matter? He said, can't you see? Got these butterflies all over me. The psychiatrist said, well, hell, don't blow them on me. I tell you what, everybody's crazy these days. You know, they got this thing now that I'm reading about called anti-digression. Y'all ever hear of that? Anti-digression. Whatever. Anyway, I see by the looks of things, y'all ain't got too hip to it up in here. But anyway, they got this new thing called anti-digression, and my little grandbaby, he go to school, you know, and he the only little colored child in his class. And the teacher act like she just don't want to teach him. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, she go from this side of the room to that side of the room. He raising his hand. She go over here and over there. She said, Jimmy, little white boy, you know, Jimmy, how do you spell cat? Jimmy, stand up. C-A-T, cat. That's very good, Jimmy. And then she go to the other side of the room. Johnny, another little white boy, you know. Johnny, how you spell rat? Johnny said, R-A-T, rat. That's very good, Johnny. Now let's see if Franklin, that's my little grandbaby, let's see if Franklin can spell as good as the rest of the class can. Franklin, spell chrysanthemum. He say, what color? She say pink. He say P-I-N-K, pink. That's right. You know, this cat from the city was going on down to the country to see his folks, you know. And the folks in the city said, now you better be careful. You better be careful driving down south, because, you know, you got to drive through them little places where the folks like to wear their bed sheets at night. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the man come driving down south course, sure as shooting. One of them good old boys pull him over. He say, walk up to his car, he say, boy, what's your name? He said, Eddie Haywood. The cop say, yeah, well, what's your wife's name? He said, Rita Haywood. He said, well, where you live, boy? He said, Hollywood. He said, well, what kind of car you drive? He said, Fleetwood. So the cop took out his gun, took out his pistol, you know, and backed this cat right upside the head. He said, let me start again. He said, boy, what's your name? He said, Bill. He said, what's your wife's name? He said, Lucille. He said, where you live? He said, Mobile. He said, what kind of car you drive? He said, Seville. He said, why you change your mind? He said, because of that blue steel. Tell you what, one time this woman I know was driving down south to see her folks. Now, broad daylight, you know, broad daylight. And she drive right through the red light. Right through the red light. Of course, one of them good old boys, ooh, he pulled her over. He said, Auntie, you know you ran through that red light back there. She said, yes, sir. He said, well, Auntie, before I write you up, you want to explain to me why you ran through that red light back there? She said, yes, sir. I was watching all you white folks going through the green light, and I figured the red light must be for us. Woo, I tell you what, times is hard. Times is really, really hard. You know, a person can't have no private business these days. Folks all up in your private business. This woman walking down the street one day, minding her own business, you know, minding her own business, and this here square cat walk up onto her and say, "Yeah, right. Sis Jones, good morning." She said, "Good morning." He said, "Sis Jones, how old is your oldest child?" She said, "Well, my oldest child is 15 years old." He said, now explain that to me, because your husband been dead going on 20 years now." She said, "Well, he's dead, I ain't." Woo, I tell you what, mom's got to keep her eye on the clock, you know. What time is it? Because the boss man up in here, he a businessman, you know, and he don't pay no overtime. And moms don't do none neither. So moms done tried, with the help of God, that's right, with the help of God, to make y'all happy up in here this morning in Idaho. Tried to make all of y'all happy. So now mom's got to get on in her bag and let it all hang out. You know, I got cats to see, got fish to fry, people to see. And I'm going to just take my little stuff and hightail it out. Hit it, honey. And moms will catch you cool cats on the next go-round, all right? All right. See ya. All right. How are you? Thank you. Let me see what's going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce the person who portrayed Moms Mabley, and she is here to answer some questions. Let's give an Idaho welcome to Tawnya Pettiford-Wates.
Hello, thank you.
And I will bring the microphone around for the questions because we're taping all of this for the library. It's wonderful having you with us.
You want me to be moms? You want me to be me?
Well, I tell you what, I think that if you could be moms but answer in the voice of Tawnya Pettiford-Wates.
Oh, all right.
Who has the first question?
Come on now, don't be shy.
It's always the first question, and here we go.
When did you first do Moms Mabley, and how did you come to choose that character?
Well, you know, you all are besides just playing around, you all are the first time I publicly have done Moms Mabley. Up here in Idaho. And, you know, when Tony contacted me about the focus of this year's Popcorn Forum, and I was thinking about comedy, I did not like the comedians of present time nearly as much as I preferred the comedians of old time. And Moms Mabley was a pioneer. She was the first and only African-American woman doing stand-up comedy in her time. She blazed trails that people don't even realize she blazed. So I felt like I wanted to honor that. You know, I know she laid foundation and ground where everybody stands today. And so I just, you know, I don't think that she got her props back in the day because of the time she lived in, you know.
We'll go over here. Also, Tawnya was here before, and she did Sojourner Truth. She has a doctor's degree in theater, and she is an actress, and she's also the head of a department in Virginia.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Just wanted to know what your favorite piece would be in portraying Moms Mabley.
You know, ooh. Well, of course, I like when she talks about the old man. You know, and she says, she has this one thing where she says, somebody comes to me and said, Moms, you know, you were married to an old man, and what's that like? What's that like being married to? Now, she was a young woman married to an old man, you know, and they said, what's it like being married to an old man? She says, honey, I don't know. I can't even talk about it. She says, I guess the best way you could describe it is it's like pushing a truck uphill with a rope. You know you ain't never going to get there. So I love her humor about, and it's kind of, her humor is kind of blue humor, but it's still acceptable for, you know, I mean, it's innuendo rather than saying it straight out. And so I really appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
Now, I just have to get your email address, Professor Waits, because I am Stonecalf Warrior Woman, and I think that you would really like to hear from me, so if you could just kind of give that to all of us here, I would really appreciate it. And I am running for president if Ben
You running for president?
If Ben
Well, it's gonna be a
Campbell
race
says,
this
hell
time.
yes, I will be your vice president. I will be the next president.
All right. Yes, it is T-P-E-T-T-I-F-O-R-D, Pettiford, T. Pettiford, W-A, T. Pettiford-Wates, at vcu.edu.
Mine is a two-part question.
Yes.
One, it's about compensation. How did you negotiate your compensation, and what was it like being on the road as a black woman?
It was hard. It was very hard. I can tell you what, Mom started out in what they call, in the TOBA, the Theater Organization Booking Association, Theater Organized Booking Association. And her first salary was something like, I don't know, $17, $18 a week. And Mom's was she had a lot of folks looking out for her, which I think is why she developed the sense of the mother looking out for others, because people had looked out for her. They took her up under their wing, and they sort of brought her along and really sort of nurtured her talent to the point when she went to New York and got on what they call the Chitlin Circuit, which is the top theater houses in the country, mostly in New York, like the Apollo, you know, and the Savoy, and all kinds of places like that, where the Cotton Club, where black entertainers entertained white audiences. You know, blacks could not go to those clubs, even though those were black clubs. Back in those days, she got on that circuit, and she was earning, I think at the top, she was probably earning about $10,000 a week. Now, from $15, $16 to $10,000 a week, that's pretty good. And then when she got on television, that's when Moms really broke out into a more, I guess you would call it mainstream audience. And there is an account of a salary that she earned playing with B.B. King in the Chicago Regal Theater for a 10-day stint, 10 days, where she made $91,000. So, but, you know, that was what she had been paying her dues for a very long time before that happened. And I think she got an agent because of the people that nurtured her. They did, you know, they made sure that she didn't get taken advantage of, and so that was what she did for others coming up as well. That's why she became known as Moms, because she took care of everybody on the vaudeville circuit. Does that answer your question? Oh, well, Oh, yeah, well, I mean, back in those days, everything was segregated. Everything was segregated, and she was the only female, so she got the worst of the conditions. Because, when they would put up, there'd be mostly men. She was the only woman. So they gave her a little closet or something, sometimes even in the bus, she would sleep. It was hard times, things they could not get away with today. Right.
I'd like to know how old Moms was when she was at the height of her career. What was her actual age?
Let's see. I would say at the height of Mom's career was when it was probably the last couple of years of her life. She died in 1975. And she moved her age back and forth. So sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. I would say she was probably about 78 years old when she died. And she was the height of her career was probably only in the last 3 or 4 years of her life. In fact, the movie that she made called Amazing Grace, which you should see, it's really a good movie, and it's still current. It's really funny. I mean, the things that they are talking about in that movie are still things that we are dealing with today. And that movie was made back in the late 60s, early 70s, and she died. She had a heart attack, as a matter of fact, while they were filming that movie. And when the movie was released, she died maybe 4 or 5 months later after the movie was released. So, she didn't get the fame and fortune, really, that she deserved from the time that she started. Of course, she started real young. She was only, about 16, 17 years old when she went out on the road to begin with. And she did that all those years out on the road, and only in the last few years of her life did she start to get the accolades that she really deserved. Yeah.
Yes, did she have did she have a family other than her road family that she worked with all the time? Did she have
Everybody was her children. No, she did have a daughter, and she adopted a son. She had a natural daughter, and she adopted a son, and her daughter was very sickly. So, that's the only family she had. Her parents died when she was very young. She was the child of 12. Those two parents had 12 children, but they died very tragically, very young. And her brother traveled with her a lot, and he did a lot of her writing. He actually wrote a lot of her sketches, and she was the talented one. She was the one, though, who could tell the jokes and sing and dance, and he really acted kind of as her protector, So that's why she told jokes about her brother sometimes. He was a woman chaser. But moms chased men, too. Young men.
A couple of things, and then we're going to come to a halt so that some students can go to class. We still hold classes during the week. We just have certain ones when they come here. I want to introduce the spouse of Tawnya, a wonderful man, and they used to live in Seattle, and they're back in Virginia now, and he's so gracious, and we've had a great time. I want to thank Karen Tennyson, first of all. She's great friends of this couple, and she's our assistant in our work. Let's give a real Idaho welcome to Luther Waits, who's right here.
I told you, I like them young, I told you.
Yes. Tawnya is just an incredibly gifted person, and she's done a lot of acting, and she chose this character, and I was so pleased because I'm old enough to remember the 50s, just barely.
How many of y'all remember? Do you remember Moms?
Yes.
All right, okay.
Yes. Try to tell 18-year-olds. They know John Lennon, and they know Lucille Ball because she's still been run on the TV. But we will be doing TV with Tawnya this afternoon. We have 9 TV shows this week, and we'll air this series on PBS, and it'll start probably in June or later in July, and it'll be like a 10-week series, and so you'll get another chance to see as we'll interview her in character. So she's just a wonderful person, and she's so gracious to come and spend this time with us. And all of our people that are coming are doing this. And I see Irma Bombeck back here with Denise Clark, and I see John Lennon was sure a minute ago, and I think he went back out to rest a while. So we're going to have a great, great week, and you have the program. There's plenty of them back here. I hope you'll come. And Miss Pettiford-Wates might be able to stay around a minute, and you talk to her personally, and she has a luncheon, and then she has TV this afternoon. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. God bless you, everyone. God bless you.